welcome back to another video, and for this video I'm going to be covering and analyzing Kennywood's recent announcement of their new for 2019 roller coaster. And after taking a couple of peeks at the POVs of this thing, it wasn't exactly what I was expecting, or should I say any of us for that matter, but it looks very promising. And I definitely do think that Kennywood will knock this one out of the park. Now without further ado, let's start talking about the ride layout, in which you will start by coming out of the station, going up this 220-foot tall lift, making it the tallest coaster in Pennsylvania, topping out Skyrush for height. And another thing I'm going to point out is that this coaster is going to feature 9 inversions, which is going to be a national record. Usually there'd be a bunch of coasters with 7 inversions all in a tie with each other. This is going to be the coaster that breaks that tie. And as far as the manufacturer of this coaster goes, I don't think any of us saw this coming, the choice of S&S. A lot of people are speculating the likes of Intamin, RMC, Gerstlauer. Those are the 3 top speculated manufacturers for this coaster, so it's definitely a big surprise to see S&S being the ones that build it. Now once you reach the top of the lift hill, you will reach your first inversion, which is going to be a 197-foot tall inversion, which is going to be a world record. Once you go through that inversion, you're going to turn to your left a bit, and then going through what I think is called a banana roll or something. It certainly looks like a banana, so I'm going to call it that. After that, you're going to go into a little pop of airtime and then go to another massive set of inversions, which is a big Sea Serpent Roll, because both the inversions are traveling in the same direction. Following the Sea Serpent Roll, you go into a large sustained ejector moment, and then you go into a diving loop, much similar to the diving loop element on Goliath at Six Flags Great America. And then, much like Goliath also, you go into a zero-G stall, which looks to give good hang time. You will then go into another small pop-up ejector, go into a barrel roll-like inversion. You will then eventually hit your final inversion, which is a cutback, similar to the one on Twisted Timbers, and then that concludes your ride on Steel Curtain. Now like I said, I do not think any of us saw this coming, but surprise is what makes speculations fun a lot of the time. And just taking a look at its layout and all the inversions it has to offer, especially with the large inversions that you see at the beginning, and then the smaller, more intense inversions as you see later in the ride, I definitely do think that this can shape up to be one of the best coasters in Pennsylvania. Now if it's going to be best coaster in Pennsylvania, that's where I may or may not have to draw a line, because Skyrush is a very high bar to beat, in my opinion, with its just terrifying airtime, and this coaster is geared to inversions, and since the nature of these 2 coasters are going to be completely different from one another, it will be very tough to compare the 2. Oh, and I haven't touched base on the theme yet, which I think this was a pretty good concept to theme a coaster to, given that Pittsburgh is local and the Steelers are very cultural. This is a very good concept for theming. I mean, unless if you're like me and your team happens to be a division rival. I'm not going to hold that over their heads at all. This was a very good choice for theming and is very appropriate for the area. Now when I think of the name Steel Curtain, I definitely think of the Steelers defense from the 1970s, which was probably the greatest dynasty defense to ever exist. And if this coaster is going to live up to that name and fit it appropriately, it would have to utilize its speed and its inversions to generate all forms of intensity to conjure up a powerful nature very reminiscent of that defense. And if this coaster can do just that, I'm going to be all in for this coaster, no doubt. And as somebody that digs positive G's and how they just plaster you to your seat, this would definitely be one of my top coasters if it can pull that off. Now another question with the announcement of this coaster, another question that it brings up is, can it beat Phantom's Revenge for best at Kennywood? Well, if Kennywood can play their cards correctly when building this coaster, I definitely do think that there's a real possibility that can happen. Phantom's Revenge, from a non-rider standpoint, it seems to be geared to having a good sensation of speed and quality ejector airtime, while I definitely do think that Steel Curtain, if Kennywood can play their cards right, it will have a fine balance between inversions, sensation of speed, and airtime, while more so inversions, but the quality of the airtime will be good. But anyways, whether or not if it beats up Phantom's Revenge for best at Kennywood, this will for sure be a quality addition to their lineup, and I can't wait to hopefully ride it next year. Anyways, that about does it for this analysis video. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And I'll see you guys in my next video, wherever that is. But until then, ride on.